Hello, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. It is that time. It is time for another Thursday Throwdown. So, in preparation for the upcoming pay-per-view, we are going to go through everything that happened this week. Every little thing. No matter how insignificant or important, I will scrutinize it, I will discuss it, I will bury it if necessary. So, let's start off with Monday Night Raw. They opened Monday Night Raw with a review of the Kurt Angle secret storyline that had been going on. Okay, and then when that was over, Dean Ambrose comes to the ring with a chair and a microphone. Ambrose cuts a promo calling out The Miz, yada 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 yada. Seth Rollins comes out, Seth practically begging for a Shield reunion, which Dean doesn't want because Dean doesn't trust Seth, and yada 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 yada. And I shouldn't say yada yada. It was actually a decent segment, from a character building standpoint. Really a great exchange between the two. And then, of course, Miz interrupts with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Miz cuts himself a promo. They attack with chairs. Ambrose and Rollins are left laying in the middle of the ring. Miz and company leave the building. So, they obviously didn't want to be there when Rollins and Ambrose got up. So, and then we cut to then we have a match. Excuse me, I'm jumping the gun. Then we have a match. Bayley versus Alexa. Nia comes out, providing distraction for Alexa. Sasha comes out and attacks Nia, providing distraction for Bayley, and Bayley wins. Excuse me. So, Kurt Angle is backstage with Corey Graves, and he's panicking. And Corey reassures him. They're really trying to hype this angle with the secret. They really want us to, all right? And then, of course, they have an interview with Roman Reigns. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to listen to that Beluga talk. All right? We go to the locker room with Dean and Seth, who are still bickering like 12-year-old girls. Okay, and Kurt Angle comes in, and despite his panicky demeanor, sets up a handicap match for next week. Seth and Dean versus Miz, Bo, and Curtis Axel. And so that's going to be on next week's Monday Night Raw. Okay, Elias Sampson. Now we cut to Elias Sampson in the ring. I'm really not. I don't give a damn about this Elias Sampson character. I just simply don't care. Sorry. I don't care. Balor comes out. Sampson versus Balor. Balor wins by DQ when Sampson bashes him over the shoulder with the guitar. And, he got him in the shoulder trying to avoid getting him in the head. And, of course, the edge of it caught him in the head and split him open. And he was bleeding and whatnot. So, fail. Let's see. You know what? Hang on. I'm not going to move on just yet. I want to talk about Balor for a second. Balor was the first ever Universal Champion. Okay? Balor deserves something a little better to work with than Elias Sampson. Come on. I understand they don't want to put him in a program with Brock because that just doesn't really seem believable for Finn to have a shot at winning. Sorry, but in the world of, in the world of realism, when a guy has 100 pounds on you and is a semi-skilled fighter, your chances ain't that hot. You know what I mean? So, in the real world, size does matter to a degree. Okay, I'm not saying it's everything, but to a certain degree, it makes a difference, When a guy can throw you, the length of a football field without breaking a sweat, I would say your chances of beating him clean suck. But moving on. After the match, Bray Wyatt decides to laugh at Finn. I don't even want to talk about Bray Wyatt anymore. Can I just start skipping talking about him and just move on to something happier? Something that's not annoying? Something that doesn't stink of mismanagement and 50-50 booking? Can I do that? I can? Kurt Angle on the phone backstage. They're really, really hyping this Kurt Angle thing. And then, of course, Bayley and Sasha come in, and they're bickering over who deserves a title shot, yada yada. And Kurt Angle decides that it's going to be Bayley versus Sasha next week on Raw to decide who will face Alexa at SummerSlam. Dear God. Okay. And then Angle comes out to the ring. And unfortunately, none of those halfway decent theories that we had considered came to pass. Alas, no affair with Stephanie McMahon leading to an awesome feud with Triple H. Alas, no storyline having to do with Bayley or Chad Gable. Both of which are people who have the crowd support behind them. No, they decided it's time to try and make a new star. As if them forcing Roman Reigns down our throats wasn't bad enough. I get the feeling they're about to do the same with this person who is supposedly Kurt Angle's unknown son, Jason Jordan. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss something important? Oh, wait. No, I didn't. I didn't because this idea sucks. I'm moving on. Okay. The Hardys take on the Revival. And the Revival wins. Alright. Interview with Samoa Joe. Joe, it was kind of, honestly, for Joe, it wasn't that good an interview. He didn't say a whole heck of a lot. It just basically to hype the match further. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. It was a great match. It was actually going really good. It was a good match. And then Braun came out, which, to be completely honest, did not surprise me not one damn bit. But Strong came out. He manhandled Reigns. He got into a scrap with Joe. For a minute there, Roman and Joe double-teamed Braun, but in the end, Braun laid both of them out. And left the ring. And we were left without we were left without a winner. So who the hell's going to be the number one contender for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam? I can't wait to find out how they handle this. Hopefully they stick Reigns with Strowman once again, and we get Joe choking out Brock for the Universal title. That is what I would like to see, but we will see what happens. Now let's head into SmackDown. This is the final SmackDown before we cruise into Battleground, and we opened up with Jinder Mahal coming to the ring with the Singh brothers and cutting a promo on the Punjabi prison, which really was just meant to make sure that we were all familiar with the rules. And he does that, and then Randy Orton comes out, and for Randy Orton, this was a fantastic promo. Randy not really known for his promo work, to be completely honest, but for Randy, this promo was fantastic. Sorry. So, and that all wrapped up. Randy basically telling Jinder that, you're a moron because you're locking us in a cage, which negates the only advantage you ever had, the two little butt buddies that you got running around with you. So, those are not Randy Orton's words. I'm paraphrasing. And then, of course, after that, we had our opening match, which was Jimmy Uso versus Kofi Kingston. And Jimmy wins. Okay, which it's nice to see the Usos go over, but this is another example of screwed up booking. Last week you had Xavier Woods win. Okay, this week you have Kofi Kingston lose. Would make more sense to have Xavier lose. Xavier's the one who ain't done shit. Kofi is a 4-time Intercontinental Champion, a 3-time United States Champion. This man was a World Championship contender at one point. Who the hell did Woods ever beat? Just mismanagement by WWE booking staff. Ugh. All right. Oh. And we go backstage to Shane with the 5 bimbos who will be competing in the Elimination Chamber the 5-way elimination match. There's no chamber. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The 5-way elimination match at Battleground. Okay. And the bimbos start to bicker, as bimbos usually do. Alright, and Shane then gets manipulated by Natalya, which I would have thought Shane would be smart enough not to be manipulated, but hey, he gets manipulated by Natalya into making Charlotte versus Becky. And then, of course, we cut to an interview segment with Chad Gable, where Chad basically cries because nobody told him what was going on. He had to find out he lost his tag team partner when he watched Monday Night Raw. Very, 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 very sad for Chad Gable. My heart bleeds for you, sir. So, moving on. Mike Kanellis making his in-ring debut with wife Maria by his side against Sami Zayn. And Sammy was on fire, and thanks to Maria's interjection into the match, Mike wins. Okay, so apparently now that Miz and Maurice are on Raw, SmackDown said, hey, we still need an act where our chicken shit heel wins because his wife gets in the way. And they said, hey, Mike and Maria aren't doing anything, let's call them. So, and then of course Cena comes out, Super Douche himself comes out and cuts a promo. Oh, nothing annoys me. This is, and they do this shit on purpose. They really do, because they want to cause conflict within us. Because I mean, at the end of the day, okay, the match, the flag match is supposed to be United States versus Bulgaria. All right, fine. As a patriot, I should be supporting whoever's representing the United States. Okay? That's fine. But as a man, I just cannot stand John Cena. Meh. You know. John Cena could take a seat on a landmine, and I think I'd do the fucking Snoopy Happy Dance. Oy vey. Anyway, Cena cuts his BS I'm a Patriot promo. And before you know what's worse is he could be telling the truth. That could be how he feels. But I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. I can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Because he's fake as fuck. I don't. Anyways. Moving on. Rusev attacked him and left him laying in the middle of the ring. Nobody cares about the flag match. The flag match. Slip of the tongue. And then, of course, we go into AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura backstage. They're supposed to be tagging tonight. Shinsuke kind of hints that one day he'll answer AJ's open challenge. And the crowd goes crazy at the prospect of AJ versus Shinsuke. Come on. They're on the same brand. We know we're getting it eventually. Why do you think they got hired within, a month of each other? All right. And then we go into Becky versus Charlotte. Good match, competitive match. Becky wins. We get some sportsmanship at the end, which is good to see. And then Tamina and Lana come out. And while Becky and Charlotte are distracted by Tamina and Lana, Natalya attacks from behind. Because that's what hearts do. Okay. And then, of course, we go back into an interview with Naomi. Naomi and her goddamn stupid, ridiculous fucking light bright championship that I hate. I hate it. I didn't think they could come up with anything more ridiculous than the spinner title. I was wrong. This is the most ridiculous championship I have ever seen. And I remember the internet title. Anyways, Naomi was talking. To be honest, I wasn't really listening to her. Blah, 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 glow, something or other. Bullshit. Okay. Carmella comes in and interrupts. Okay? I definitely just want Carmella to cash in and get the title off of Naomi so that we can get rid of the light bright bullshit. Please. What you do is you take it, you flip it over. That spot where the little battery is, it makes everything rip that the fuck out, okay? And make it go back to a normal title. Okay? Yeah, okay. So, And then we go into the fashion, it's the Fashion Files, but it's the Fashion X Files. I don't know if they're ever going to run out of material for this crap. It's some of the most ridiculous shit in the world. And yet somehow it manages to be somewhat amusing. And of course, after the Fashion Files, AJ Styles comes out, and Shinsuke comes out, and Corbin attacks Shinsuke, but Shinsuke was ready. He turns around, he was ready, he starts brawling with him. Owens comes out, he gets involved, AJ starts brawling, and they go to commercial break. When they come back, everybody's in the ring. Right? And AJ and Shinsuke tag teaming against Corbin and Owens. Good match. A lot of back and forth, go between, whatnot. Blind tag at the end there allowed for Owens and Corbin to get the win. And and that was how they closed out the show. So, it's momentum for Owens and Corbin heading into Battleground, which probably means AJ and Shinsuke will win. But you never know. You never know. Alright, I'll head into 205 Live. I'm on the verge of just stopping covering 205 Live because I just feel like nobody cares about it. Especially not the WWE. But we start off with a 2 out of 3 falls match between Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak, which was actually a really great match until they had Ali win. Boo! God damn it. Gulak is great. I love Gulak's style. Hopefully they do something else with him that is good. I'd like to see him with a run with the title, possibly, if the Cruiserweight title survives long enough to go on to somebody else, because right now it is floundering. It is floundering like a goddamn fish. Alright, we go into Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, versus Devin Bennett from Manchester, England. Kendrick took the opportunity to just berate and belittle gentleman Jack Gallagher, and then beat Devin Bennett in convincing fashion. We had an interview with TJ Perkins, the dabbing dummy that I sounds like the teacher off Charlie Brown when he talks to me. It's like, wah, 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 wah. I'm a dumbass. So we'll move into what would be the main event. But before the main event, see, Arya Daivari comes out and he gives a little history lesson on the greatness that is Iranian wrestling. And I mean, not for nothing, I'm going to say the fact that, everybody is boos Daivari and whatnot. I mean, basically, the guy's not really a heel. Not really. He's a good competitor. He doesn't cheat. Okay? But because he's not from America and he has pride in where he does come from, all of a sudden, of course, the WWE books him like a heel. And the fact that he's from Iran means they book him like a heel for, all the more. He doesn't have to be a heel. I mean, he makes a decent one, but in this instance, and I'm a Tozawa fan, but we go into Daivari versus Tozawa, and Tozawa behaved like the heel this time around because Tozawa won with holding the trunks. Tozawa cheated. So maybe we are moving towards a heel turn for Tozawa. Or at least that's what I thought. And then, of course, Daivari attacks Tozawa and beats him down after the match. Which, you got two ways of looking at this. You can be like, oh, Daivari got his heat back. Which, maybe, with the fans who are morons, in my mind, Tozawa cheated to win. He got his ass beat for it. He kind of deserved it. But, hey. Neither here nor there. I think I might be one of 10 people who actually watched 205 Live. So nobody fucking cares. Alright, moving on. NXT. NXT was a great show this week. Started off with Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott. Who's naming these people? Dear God. Alright, Ember wins with the Eclipse. I love the Eclipse. Fantastic move. Corkscrew stunner off the top rope. Looks fantastic. If the competitors had short hair, like guys with crew cuts tried to do this move, it wouldn't look as good. The long hair whips around and makes everything look more violent. Just kind of like I always said that the Tombstone Pile Driver didn't work as well if the guy taking it didn't have long hair. Because if he had long hair, you couldn't tell that his head wasn't hitting the mat. But if you get what I'm saying. Anyways, moving on. Alright, Oney Larkin goes one-on-one with Danny Burch. Brutal matchup. These guys beat the hell out of each other. Larkin picked up the win, and afterwards Burch wanted Larkin to agree to one more match, which Larkin did, so I'm assuming we'll see that next week. Then we go into what might be... I was going to say the stupidest character on NXT, but I forgot about the Velveteen Dream. So the second stupidest character on NXT, he goes by the name of No Way Jose, which is in no way, shape, or form racist at all. And he took on Benoni, who... I don't know who Benoni is. First time I've seen him that I can recollect. He wasn't very impressive. Didn't make an impression. No Way Jose wins. And he goes to leave the ring. Andrade Cien Almas, I'm getting better at saying that, comes down and goes into the ring and attacks Benoni, and then calls out Jose. So Jose charges down to the ring, and Almas takes a powder and gets out of Dodge. And then No Way Jose decides to, dance in his tracksuit, which I could have gone without seeing, to be completely honest. And then, of course, they go to a nice little commercial break. Why does the WWE Network have commercials? I don't understand that. Why? Yeah, I understand, making money, but God damn it, have commercials in between your programs. You have your own damn network. Why do you need to put commercial breaks in there? I think it's just stupid. We go into our main event, Killian Dane versus Drew McIntyre. The undefeated Killian Dane versus the undefeated Drew McIntyre. As Mauro Ranallo so aptly put it, somebody's O has got to go. I hope that Mauro didn't come up with that on his own, because that's just juvenile. Okay, moving into the match itself. This was for the number one contendership to face Bobby Roode at TakeOver Chicago. Chicago? TakeOver Brooklyn. TakeOver Chicago was months ago. Where the fuck am I? Holy shit. Alright, so we go into it. This was a hell of a match. This was insane. Back and forth. McIntyre hit the Future Shock DDT. We thought it was over, and Dane kicked out at the count of 1. And McIntyre had to roll his tongue back up like a cartoon character because he couldn't believe that Dane kicked out. So then McIntyre hit him with the Claymore, that running 1-foot drop kick that just looks brutal. And he's going to go for the pin, and Dane sits up before he can pin him. And again, more shock on the part of McIntyre. And then McIntyre hits him with another Claymore and gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. So McIntyre is still undefeated. He's going on to be number one contender and face Bobby Roode, and likely beat Bobby Roode, if I'm going to voice my opinion. Now, I would like to say this was a wonderful example of how to go into a situation like this where you have two talents that are over, both are undefeated, and you want to get a decision without burying either talent. Because that's what they did. Because, yes, McIntyre got the win, but Dane looked like a killing machine. He looked like a damn monster. He looked damn near unstoppable. I would say Killian Dane lost nothing by losing this match. And hopefully they, as great as he is with Sanity, hopefully he gets himself a singles run sometime soon, because I actually think that could be really cool. He could be the monster heel that NXT needs. Not that Bobby Roode's not a great heel, he is, but Bobby Roode is more of a snide, sarcastic heel. He's not a monster heel. Monster heels are always good. So, that has been Thursday Throwdown. Okay, be sure to join me tomorrow when I will be posting my Battleground predictions. Talk about the matches on Battleground and what I think will happen. And be sure to join me on Sunday for Battleground Live. All right, we're going to watch the show. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to curse. Because we know WWE is going to fuck up the booking somehow, right? All right. Until next time, I am Ken Carnage. And Carnage is right around the corner.